Welcome to the deep dive.
Okay, so you sent over some pretty wild updates from me and the boys wrestling. It feels like everything's been turned upside down.
Yeah, absolutely. The material you shared, it paints a picture of some serious upheaval. Power shifts, big debuts, a title change nobody predicted.
It really does. So our mission today is basically to unpack all these key events, figure out what they mean, especially Holden Gale coming back and that surprise title win at the end.
Sounds good. It's a lot to get through, but it all seems pretty connected.
Okay, let's jump right in then. Holden and Gale. Wow. I mean, these two, they're legends, right? They've brought, let's say, both hardship and entertainment over the years.
Definitely names that carry weight. And now they're not just back, they're running the Purifiers.
Which is huge,
Yeah.
especially with Ryan Kai being gone. There was that uncertainty about the faction's direction.
Exactly. That power vacuum was obvious. So Holden and Gale stepping in, well, it feels very deliberate. Maybe a more ruthless direction. Could be. The commentary team certainly seemed, taken aback. They mentioned their history, the impact they had.
And it immediately changes the whole faction dynamic, doesn't it? Teams that thought they had the purifiers figured out. Not anymore.
Right. What does that mean for the guys already in the Purifiers, you think?
That's the big question. Do they fall in line? Was someone else hoping to step up? There could be internal friction, or maybe some guys see it as a chance under new, more established leadership.
Interesting. Okay, shifting gears a bit. Dablock, Della, he got a win over Jabberwocky.
Uh-huh. And that match had big stakes. A title shot at Lucky 13 was on the line.
He got it done, but the commentary, they said something interesting, didn't they? Called him a king already.
Yeah, they framed it less like he was earning a shot and more like he was claiming what was sort of already his due because of his hard work, solidifying his status.
But then Cameron Taylor,
Yeah.
he came out fired up.
Oh, yeah. That promo was intense. Aimed right at Jabberwocky, blaming him for Frenchie still having the crown.
And Taylor says he's got to go through Jabberwocky to get to Frenchie in the world title.
Which adds a whole new layer, right?
Yeah.
You've got this mini feud now. And looking ahead, if Dablock is still champ by Lucky 13,
He might have to face his own tag partner, Taylor.
exactly. Talk about potential drama, friendship versus the title. Classic stuff.
Okay, let's talk debuts. The Great Puma. The hype was insane, wasn't it? 7 months undefeated before he even showed up.
That's serious buzz. You don't usually see that level of sustained hype.
Yeah.
The commentators were calling him a legitimate draw already. It suggests the promotion's really invested in him.
And the entrance with security, like an MMA fighter.
Sets a tone immediately. Makes him feel like a big deal.
Plus, the Puma rules. Pinfall only, 20 count outside.
That's fascinating. It forces a certain kind of match, doesn't it? No submissions. Got to keep the action in the ring. Very distinct.
He beat GCL in his debut, even with Sweet Scott Nash trying to interfere.
Yeah, a dominant start. He looked strong, shrugged off the interference.
So what's the takeaway here? Instant impact.
Absolutely. He's immediately established as a major threat. The streak, the rules, the presence. Everyone's going to be watching him. Who can stop him? How long does this run last?
Right. Okay, on to King Frenchie. He had that no DQ match against Cameron Taylor.
Defending the crown.
Yeah.
But he didn't come alone.
No, he had Connor Lachlan with him, and they really used those no DQ rules.
That was pure heel tactics, wasn't it? Let Connor basically fight the match for him.
Yeah.
2-on-1 the whole time.
The crowd wasn't happy. The commentator sounded uncomfortable, too.
You could feel it. It was just a beatdown. And Cameron, I mean, he's tough. He's survived stuff like that before.
But this time, it looked like too much. Connor was relentless. Weapons involved, too, thanks to fingers.
Yeah, chairs, everything. Frenchie even jumped in to break up a pin when Cameron nearly had it.
And then Connor hits the broken heart attack.
And Frenchie gets the pin, keeps the crown.
So this alliance with Connor, it's interesting, especially because the Quebecers turned Frenchie down earlier, right?
Exactly. Why Connor? Is it just strategy? Money? Some other deal? It definitely shows Frenchie is willing to find new allies, maybe less scrupulous ones, to stay on top.
Okay, let's talk Rumbles. We had the big one, and Buzzsaw came out on top.
Massive win for Buzzsaw. And props to DMP too, right? Giving up his QLW spots just to get more people in the Rumble.
That's a big move. Show some strategy there, maybe wanting more chaos.
Definitely made it unpredictable. You had the Ultimate get tossed by Wizard, Danger Boy out by House, Charlie Dog in there too.
Lots of action. And the commentary noted some suspicious early entrants.
Yeah, always adds intrigue. But in the end, it came down to Buzzsaw and Sweet Scott Nash.
And Buzzsaw got the elimination. Huge moment for him.
Absolutely. And that win means?
He gets a shot at the QLW championship in a triple threat match at Lucky 13.
Wow, career changer. Straight into the title picture on the biggest show.
And we also had the Ladies Battle Royal.
Right, lots of talent in that one. Mishi, Sweet Death, Mad Moxie, Selena Snow, Michelle, Lily, Spectre.
Foxy got eliminated by NXG, Mishi by HRS, but the winner was
Lady Strange. Kind of a surprise, wasn't it?
It felt like it, especially taking out both DMP and Sweet Death near the end. That's impressive.
Huge momentum builder for her. Beating established names like that in a battle royal.
Yeah.
It puts her right in the conversation.
Yeah, definitely want to watch. Could be lining up for a title opportunity soon.
Very possibly.
Yeah.
That win gives her serious credibility.
No, another debut, but this one, different. Killjoy.
Oh, man, Killjoy. Yeah, that was unsettling. The entrance, the backstory they hinted at, diaries, a psychiatrist.
Super creepy, like something out of a horror movie. And his debut match against DMP.
Talk about a trial by fire, facing a legend like DMP straight away.
And it was Extreme Rules.
Which suited Killjoy's whole vibe, didn't it? They went at it hard. Weapons, exposed turnbuckles. It got brutal.
It sounded like Killjoy actually had DMP in trouble a few times.
He definitely looked credible, took everything DMP threw at him, the stunner, the 615 went through a table.
But DMP got the win in the end, right? After Killjoy hit that exposed corner.
Yeah, DMP managed to pull it out. But even the commentators agreed. It was a great match. Killjoy made a statement, even in defeat. DMP's little comment to him afterwards was telling, too. Dismissive.
Okay, then the big six-man tag. Frenchie brought out the big guns, Connor Lachlan, Andre the Giant, Hollywood Hogan.
Stacked team. Trying to make a statement, maybe regain some momentum after the Rumble stuff.
But they were facing NXG's Black Phoenix Order, the Splash Brothers, and Kevin Hall.
And NXG looked really strong. They got the early advantage, isolated Frenchie. Cameron Taylor was still going after him, too, during the match.
Yeah, that feud isn't over. Fingers brought weapons again.
Kevin Hall used a chair. Sweet Scott Nash looked great.
And NXG got the win. Sweet Scott Nash pinned, while someone on Frenchie's super team.
Big win for NXG.
Yeah.
But the really big news came right after, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Breaking news. Holden and Gale drafted the old Quebessers into the Purifiers.
The same Quebessers who refused to help King Frenchie.
Exactly. So the new Purifiers lineup is Gale, Holden, Frank Kaiser, Podium, Brent, Gordon, and Dixon.
That is a massive power shift in faction wars. Suddenly, the Purifiers are incredibly deep and stacked with veterans.
Totally changes the game, and just when we thought the night couldn't get crazier.
The ending. Connor Lachlan
comes out, announces he's cashing in the satchel he just won.
Right then and there. Against DUI for the Me and the Boys Championship.
Talk about shock value. The commentators were losing it.
As they should. It was completely unexpected. And the match.
Sounded intense, physical. DUI hit his big moves, but it wasn't enough.
And Connor wins. How?
Submission. That Cole Nelson sit-out bomb into an arm stretch. DUI tapped.
Wow. Connor Lachlan's the new Me and the Boys champion. Just like that.
Unbelievable. And you know who was watching that very closely?
I gotta be Dad Block.
Yep, the Block. He now knows he's facing Connor Lachlan for the title at Lucky 13.
What a twist. He earns his shot, thinks he knows who he might face, and then bam, new champion, whole new ball game.
So let's try and wrap our heads around all this. Just to recap the key stuff. Holden and Gale take over a bolstered Purifiers. Dablock earns a title shot. The Great Puma arrives and looks dominant.
Frenchie keeps his crown, but maybe loses some allies while gaining Connor. Buzzsaw wins the Rumble for a QLW title match. Lady Strange wins the Ladies Battle Royal.
Killjoy impresses, but loses to DMP. Frenchie's all-star team loses to NXG. The Purifiers absorb the Quebessers, shifting faction power. And Connor Lachlan steals the show and the Me and the Boys title.
Phew. Yeah, it's all interconnected. The landscape just completely changed in one night.
It really did. So the big question leaving this, I guess, with Holden and Gale running the Super Purifiers group and Connor as the surprise champion, how does this shake out for Lucky 13?
Alliances, rivalries, everything seems up in the air now, doesn't it?
Totally. And Dablock versus Connor. Is Connor going to have a long reign after pulling that off? Or is Dablock going to cause another immediate shift?
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
So much to think about. And honestly, looking back at those sources now, knowing how everything played out.
Yeah, they probably read completely differently now, don't they? Might be worth another look for anyone listening, just to see the clues with this new context.
You